Hello there. You're welcome to today's lesson. Did you know that the kind of business organization you establish could mean that in times of bankruptcy or liquidation, you'd have to settle business liabilities with your personal assets? Did you know that the form of business organization you establish could determine when you file your returns and as to whether some expenses will be allowed for tax purposes? At the end of this module, the objectives are to help you, our business owners, identify the forms of business organization from which you could choose. And this will help you achieve the maximum shareholder worth or value you've always desired for, and would lead to the survival of your business in this time of uncertainties and competition. Our discussions shall cover subjects like what the business organization is, the forms of business organization and their characteristics, financing options available to each form of business organization that you choose. A company is a legally registered corporate body, separate and distinct from its owners. Membership ranges between 2 and infinity. In some cases, one person can form a company. Companies are either limited liability or unlimited liability. In all cases, they could be a private or a public company. Types of liability companies. 1. The limited liability company. It is a company that the liabilities of the shareholders are limited to the amounts that shareholders have not paid yet. What it means is, in times of bankruptcy, the extent to which personal assets will be used to defray these liabilities is up to how much shareholders have not paid, what we call the unpaid shares. Limited guarantee companies. It's a company that the liabilities of the shareholders are limited to the amounts that members have agreed to contribute in the event of a wind-up. Liabilities of the companies are not extended beyond the agreed contributions of members. Unlimited liability companies are companies that the liabilities of shareholders are not limited only to the company, but extend to the private assets of individual shareholders. There are benefits when you choose a company. 1. Company has separate legal entity. What it means is this: the liabilities of the companies do not extend to the directors of the company. 2. The status opens it up to a variety of capital. A lot of people would want to work with a company. Lastly, the big size of a company would give room for economies of scale, which gives them a big bargaining power. Downside to a company. There are downsides if you choose a company. 1. The company needs to be registered, and the requirement for the registration of the company could be quite cumbersome and hectic. The directors need to be KYCs, as the language of the bankers is. 2. Separate legal entity means at times the directors could be sluggish in their loyalty to the company. Like any other forms, there are other finance sources to a company. 1. The floating of shares, debenture, loans from financial institutions, retained profits, lease, sale or leaseback, trade credits, just to mention a few. As we said early on, all these kinds of business could be either private or public. So, what separates a private company from a public company? 1. Would look at this from the scopes. The right to invite the public to deposit money. What it means is, as a private company, you are prohibited from asking private people to deposit money for the company. However, a public company can do this. 2, the right to transfer shares. Public companies have the right to transfer shares among shareholders. There is a restriction for private companies to do this. Lastly, the number of shares and debenture owners. For a private company, there's a cap. It's limited to 50. However, public companies are unlimited. So, potential business owners have 4 options to choose from: sole proprietorship, partnership, joint venture, or even company. And each of these forms have merits and demerits. I want to know, which form of business organization have you registered so far? Could you share your experience with us? See you!